the biggest reason you're not progressing has nothing to do with the amount of time, um, with the fact that you're working a full-time job, with the fact that that there's so many things that you want to do. The biggest reason you're not progressing in life has nothing to do with that. The biggest reason is internal. So what I realized is that people make up so many reasons as to why they shouldn't be doing what they truly want to do. Maybe you're going through their life and they have a full-time job, or they're afraid that if they start the business or that they want to create, etc., how are they going to do it? What do they do? How's that going to look like? And I realized that, right now I'm in this constant flow state of ideas, just continuing to just come up with ideas. Also, the biggest reason isn't because you don't have a good idea. It's like if you have an idea and you know what you want to do, the thing that excites you the most, then you have to do it. It's that simple. It never really has to do anything with how it's going to look like and whether you have enough time. Is like the universe will help you, and that's what I've learned. And I want to have you realize that it really is just a mental problem. We can do so much in a short amount of time, and my life has shown me that. I found my wife within 5 weeks of breaking up with my ex, and I got 300 subscribers in less than a month. So like those things show me that when you are in a constant pursuit of what you truly want and constantly honing in on that, then you can get it. It doesn't matter how it looks like, doesn't matter what the end goal looks like. It's about you being involved and pursuing what excites you the most. So most of the time it's just a mental problem. That's the biggest reason why you're not progressing, because you stop yourself. For example, starting that business, right? People often complicate it, and I realize that people overcomplicate everything, especially on social media. A lot of experts make money off putting these steps in people's faces, and you have to make those steps in order for you to succeed. But I realize that most of that is unnecessary. I realize that to pursue your dreams, all you need is to just pursue them. That's all. And the mental blocks are really the biggest problem. It has nothing to do with time. It has nothing to do with the physical, the resources to create it. We have like something that we want to do, and then outright we want to make it big. And if it's not big, then it's not good enough. And that's the culture we live in. But it's just as simple as putting 1 hour a day into the thing that you love. And I've realized that time isn't a problem. Like, I realized that if you want to do something, then you just do it, and the universe will reward you. Realize that it's really just you that you need to overcome. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with anything exterior. It might be the self-doubt, and it might be the over-analysis. It might be the strive for perfection. It might be the imposter syndrome. It might be the lack of confidence. Those are your main problems. It has nothing to do with whether you succeed or not, whether it's going to work out or not. It has nothing to do with that. And I want to point your attention to that, because if you can, then you can solve it really quick. Because guess what? Those problems, if you make them your priority, if you can identify them and understand that that's really the issue, every time you stop yourself, and it's because of those things, then you understand that it's just a mental thing and it's an illusion. Most of the biggest thing that stops us are illusions. They're lies. And you have to understand that, because, for example, I wasn't posting on YouTube for years because I thought that my videos had to be a specific way. But but it's like my wife said, it's like she told me that just recently she had a realization where don't worry about how it's gonna look like. It's going to work out eventually as a byproduct of you growing yourself. So you got to make yourself the project, you got to make yourself the business, you got to make yourself the source of everything, because anything that hinders that self will stop you from producing great things out in the world. And the concept comes to me, like my relationship with my wife is an external manifestation of my relationship with myself. My business is an external manifestation of myself, my experiences, my mindset, my mentality, my internal systems. They are the source of my external systems. My those are the things. That's the way I have to think about it. My health in my body is a reflection of my mental health, right? So everything is first internal before it is external. Which means that if you're looking outside, excuse me, I'm a little sick, that's why I haven't been recording. The thing is, if you're looking outside of yourself to solve external problems, you're doing it the wrong way. I find myself whenever I find myself spending more than like 30 minutes on business advice, I cut it off, because I recognize that at the end of the day, it's not about me getting the money, it's about me creating something worthwhile, something fulfilling. And the only way for me to discover what that is by me doing it. Like you get the feedback instantly. Or if you don't, if you're just working, you're just beginning, then you just keep posting, you keep developing yourself. So you have to make it about your growth. You have to make it about what are my limiting beliefs, identifying them, and then working to release them, or working to move despite them. So I want to take away the notion that you're a failure because of some external thing. It's like you're only a failure because you choose to be, in the sense that you choose to give up, right? And when I think about this from a very lucid standpoint, where it's like very detached and very wise, I realize that there's never been an issue about time. Because the moment you start doing what you need to be doing, and you're tapped into who you truly are, time doesn't matter. Like you'll do it and you'll enjoy it, and you won't care when it comes. So if you're not at that point where you're constantly looking, like if you're in that point where you're like constantly looking outside of yourself to see whether what you're doing is working, then you need to switch it. You need to look within you and ask yourself, how is this affecting you? How is this developing you? And how can you do more to keep developing yourself? And eventually that will lead to developing your dreams and passions and everything you want in your life. So I think I'm done. I feel like there was a bigger idea in my head, and I'm using this video to kind of work that out. But the main point that I want to get across is that it has to do with your internal state, your ability to detach and observe yourself and understand why you're doing the things that you're doing. Really understanding where that's coming from, that is way more important. Like if you are doing it because it is the thing that excites you the most, then you are on the right track. But if you are doing it to make money, etc., then that will slow you down a lot. What's the one thing that can be guaranteed? It is your growth and development through facing challenges. If we make that our focus of abundance, then everything else comes after that. So if you make making money your focus of abundance, that will take years, and you will constantly be banging your head because you're not making the money. But if you make yourself the focus, then every time you journal at the end of the day, you reflect on how you have improved. You reflect on the insight that you've gained through the day. And so you feel abundant because you realize that you're on your journey and you're progressing. You're progressing in a way that's fulfilling. And so the focus here is then not putting focus on, the external validation, but putting focus on yourself. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes to release those limiting beliefs, because you answer those questions, like you answer those limitations. When they say, like when you're questioning, you're saying, well, you don't have enough experience. Why are you going to start a business? You have no experience. You don't know what you're doing. Well, when you're journaling and you're looking at yourself, you're like, well, yeah, I don't have any experience, but how am I going to get any experience if I don't start? Right? And it's like, there's no better time to start than now. The best time to start was yesterday, and the next best time to start is today. So making that the focus really changes the way you look at these issues that come up in your mind, and it helps you answer your own questions. And it really changes the game for you. So know that everything is a byproduct of your internal state of being, and if you make your internal state of being the source of your abundance, then you will be much more in control and much more at peace, and you will also speed up your progression. That's it. Your boy's out. Stay lucid.